Fine, we got live on the YouTube.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam. Hare Krishna to all the
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
devotees. Dandavad Pranam and my obeisances to all of you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat
I,
Pranam.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I welcome and invite you to the early morning short Bhagavatam class from Radha Govinda Temple, Kolai, Bengaluru, for and on behalf of His Divine Grace, Sri Namanista Das Prabhuji. Let us begin with prayers. Om Agnan Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Sasmai Shri Guruvare Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Iti Namine. Namo Acharya Padaya Nitaya Krupa Pradayine Gaur Pratha Damadaya Nagara Gramatarine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavangsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vishakhanutamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. May I request you all to follow me? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Janmadasya yato anvayad itirat chartheshu abhinah swarat.
Janmadhyasya Swarat.
Tene brahmaradaya adikavaye muhyanti yat surayah.
Tene
Brahma Hridayadi Kavaye Yanti Yasurya.
Tejo vari mrudam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo brusha.
Tejovari Mrita
Mridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatra Sargo Amrisha.
नाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि
दाम्ना
नाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि
धर्मः प्रोजहितो कैतवत्र परमो निर्मत्सरां सताम्
धर्मप्रोजितकैतवोऽत्र
वज्र
परमो
परमो निर्मत्सराणां
निर्मत्सराणां
सखा
सखा
वेद्यमवास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवतम् तापत्रयोन्मूलनम्
वेद्यं
वेद्यं
वास्तवमस्तु
वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवतं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम्
श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः
श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परेरीश्वरः
सद्यो रुद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिः तत्क्षणात्
अवरुद्ध विद्यते शुश्रुभितक्षणात्
निर्गमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखात् अमृतद्रवसंयुक्तम्
निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतम्
जीवत भागवतं रसमालयम् मुहुरहो रसिकः भुवि भावुकः
पिबत भागवतं रसमलयं मुहुरहो रसिको भुवि भावुकाः
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम्
नारायणं
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम्
नरोत्तमम्
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये
शृणुतां स्वकथाः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः
वदा स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्याश्रवणकीर्तनः
हृदयन्तस्तूयभद्राणि विदुनोति सुरस्तथा
हृदयन्तो भद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सताम्
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया
अप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी
भगवत
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी
So we have begun with next chapter. That's chapter 30 from yesterday. Today is the second verse. Anyone would like to recite first?
Prabhuji, I will do.
Prabhuji may recite.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo
Hare Krishna.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya किं बार्हस्पत्येह परत्रवाथा कैवल्यनाथ प्रियपार्श्ववर्तिनः आसाद्य देवं गिरिशं यदृच्छया प्रापुः परं नूनमथ प्रचेतसः.
Thank you, Madhumai Mataji. That was wonderful. Go ahead, Ayushi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Pranam Prabhuji. Kim barhaspatyeha paradratravata kaivalyanatha priyah parsavahavartina asadya devam girisam yadirichaya prapuh paramam nunam atha prachetasaha. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Chitra Mohini Devi Dasi Mataji. Go ahead, please.
किं ब्राहस्पत्य इह परत्रवात कैवल्यनाथ प्रियपार्श्वावर्तिनः आसाद्य देवं गिरीशं यदृच्छया प्रापुपरं नूनमता प्रचेतसः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु.
Surya Prakash Rao Prabhuji. Go ahead.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. किं बृहस्पत्येह परत्र न वाधा कैवल्यनाथ प्रिय पार्श्ववर्तिनः आसाद्य दैवं गिरिशं यदृच्छया प्रापुः परं मानवध पचेतसः. हरे कृष्ण.
Sujata Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. किं मारस्पतेः परत्रवाता कैवल्यनाथ प्रिय पार्श्ववर्तिनः असाद्य देवं गिरिशं यदृच्छयः प्रापुः परं नूनम् अथ प्रचेतसः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Srinivas Rao Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. किं बार्हस्पत्येह परत्रवाथा कैवल्यनाथ प्रियपार्श्ववर्तिनः आसाद्य देवं गिरीशं यदृच्छया प्रापुः परं नूनमत प्रचेतसः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु.
Madhu Soni Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. किं बारहस्पत्येह परत्रवाथ कैवल्यनाथ प्रियपार्श्ववर्तिनः आसाद्य देवं गिरिशं यदृक्षया प्रापुः परं नूनम अथ प्रचेतसः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. थैंक यू.
Madhu Prafula Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. किं बार्ह्यस्पत्येह परत्रवाथ कैवल्यनाथ प्रियपार्श्ववर्तिनः असाध्य देवं गिरिशं यदृच्छया प्रापुः परं नूनम् अथ प्रचेतसः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. थैंक यू.
Jayanti Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. किं बर्हिस्पच्छेह परत्रवादा कैवल्यनाद प्रियपार्श्ववर्तिनः आसाध्य देवं गिरिशं यदृच्छाय प्रापुः परं नूनमद प्रचेतसः. हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी. हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. हरे
Anjali
कृष्णा.
Mataji. Anjali Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण. किं बाहरस्पतेः परत्रवाथ कैवल्यनाथ प्रियपार्श्ववर्तिनः आसाद्य देवं गिरिशं यदृच्छया प्रापुः परं नूनम् अथ प्रचेतसः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Uma Kulkarni Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. किं बारस्पत्येह परत्रवाता कैवल्यनाथ प्रियपार्श्ववर्तिनः आसाद्य देवं गिरीशं यदृच्छया प्रापुः परं नूनम् अथा प्रचेतसः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Lakshmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Spatyeha paratravata Kaivalyanatha Priya Parshvavartinaha Asadya Devam Girisham Yadruchaya Prapuh Param No Namata Prachetasaha. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Subharao Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam Prabhuji.
Kim barhaspatyeha paratranadha Kaivalyanatha Priya Parshvavartinaha Asatya Devam Girisham Yadruchaya Prapu Param Sunamata Prachetasaha. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Anyone? Go
किं
ahead, Mataji.
पार्श्वपद्येह परत्रवादा केवल्यनादा प्रियपार्श्ववर्धनः असाध्य देवं किरीशं यत्र चाया प्राभूत् परं नूनमत प्रचेतदासः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी. थैंक यू.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, can you read synonyms for us?
You're telling me, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Kim, what? Paraspatya, O disciple of Brihaspati, Iha, here, Paratra, in different planets, Va, or, Ata, Ata as such, Kavilyanata, to the bestower of liberation, Priya, dear, Paraswa, Vartinaha, being associated with, the Asaya, after meeting, Devam, the great demigod, Giri Sam, the lord of the Kailasha hill, Yedorchaya, by providence, Prabhu achieved, Param, the supreme, Nunam, certainly, Ata, therefore, Pratitsaha, the sons of Parihas. Can I read the translation?
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Translation. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Barhaspatya, what did the sons of King Barhisat, known as Prachetas, obtain after meeting Lord Shiva, who is very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the bestower of liberation? Certainly, they were transferred to the spiritual world, but apart from that, what did they obtain within this material world, either in this life or in other lives? Purport. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All types of material happiness are obtained in this life or in the next life, on this planet or another. The living entity wanders within this material universe in so many species of life and so many planetary systems. The distress and happiness obtained during the span of life are called iha, and the distress and happiness obtained in the next life are called paratra. Actually, Lord Mahadeva, Shiva, is one of the great demigods within the material world. Generally, his blessings bestowed on ordinary people mean material happiness. The predominating deity of the material world, Durga, is under the control of Lord Mahadeva, Girisha. Thus, Lord Mahadeva can offer anyone any kind of material happiness. Generally, people prefer to become devotees of Lord Girisa to obtain material happiness. But the Prachetas met Lord Mahadeva by providential arrangement. Lord Mahadeva instructed them to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he personally offered prayers. As stated in the previous verse, Rudra Gita, Rudra Gitena, simply by chanting the prayers offered by Lord Shiva to Vishnu, the Prachetas were transferred to the spiritual world. Sometimes devotees desire to enjoy material happiness also. Therefore, by the arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the devotee is given a chance to enjoy the material world before his final entrance into the spiritual world. Sometimes a devotee is transferred to a heavenly planet, to Janaloka, Mahaloka, Tapoloka, Siddhaloka, and so on. However, a pure devotee never aspires for any kind of material happiness. The pure devotee is consequently transferred directly to Vaikuntha Loka, which is described here as Param. In this verse, Vidura asked Maitreya, the disciple of Barhaspati, about the different achievements of the Prachetas. In these two verses, Vidura is inquiring about what happened to Prachetas. If we look at the Lord's cosmic manifestation, Lord Krishna has created such a wonderful Lala land or a dream land where all our material desires can be fulfilled. This actually works positively because then the soul has come for material desire and he gets his material desire according to the karmic reactions. It is also negative because if you look at the material desires, when they are satisfied, it actually creates further desire. If you had X desire, which gets fulfilled, the next thing is having 2X desire. All of you must have experienced that you long for something, say for an example, getting a car for the family. And when the car comes, you are probably a happiest person. The family is also very happy, but that happiness is only short-lived. In 3 to 4 days, the car becomes a usual member of the family and it doesn't excite anymore to anyone. Then the next desire comes. So there is no end to the desires. As it is said earlier in other purports, mind is the reservoir of the desires. If you have a reservoir, there is no scarcity of water, and so there is no scarcity of desire. The desire keeps coming and coming, and there is no end to it. In other words, desire produces happiness, but the happiness is very short-lived. And if you desired something You get something, but it is always at the cost of something else. We all in this material life have understood that whenever we get something, we always pay for it. We pay through cash, kind, or something that belongs to us. And so when the happiness comes, we pay through our loss of peace of mind and happiness, and comes the miseries. And that's why we say that happiness is short-lived. This short-lived happiness is always compared with the spiritual happiness, which is lasting or which is eternal. And that's why gradually, as we pass through the material life, we realize that the material life gives you flickers of happiness and long spells of hard work, pain, and miseries. That's how we get an inquiry to know what are we doing in this world and why have you come in this world. And that's how all the inquiries begin and the knowledge is gotten. So ultimately, if we are looking for a long-term happiness, long-term blissful presence, and with the knowledge and is eternal, it's only a spiritual world. It's not always that we desire and get it. We desire when we do not get it as well. This is the worst situation because you have a strong desire, but you do not get things, which produces even multiple miseries in a greater strength. And that produces what we call frustration and leads to so many psychological issues. In other words, the miseries are multiplied at several points of life. Let us ask who can answer and raise your hand for that. Who was the senior devotee who actually began with material desire, and when he got the presence of Lord in front of him to ask whatever he wants, he was so confused and felt that his material desire should not have been there in the first place. Madhumai Mataji?
Dhruva Maharaj Prabhuji.
Very good, very good. There are so many hands raised, so everybody is a scholar in our class. Wonderful. Dhruv Maharaj began with material desire, but ended up with asking no material things at all, and he asked for a loving, transcendental, devotional service to the Lord. Similarly, we know that there are 4 types of neophyte who come to Lord for various reasons, like one who is in distress, one who wants the economic support, one who is jignasu or inquisitive, and one who is with the knowledge or jnana. The one that comes with the knowledge of who I am, who the Lord is, and what is our relationship with the Lord, always is the one most loved by Krishna because he has the best chance of staying on the course of spiritual path because he has a knowledge, and so avidya is not the factor which will dwindle him down and let him fall down. The rest of the people, the 3 other, also have a good chance, For an example, the person in a distress, and we all have gone through distress, when you think about the Lord and pray to Lord and ask Him to support you in the distress, and you get a support and you realize that the distress is over, if you are introspecting and analyzing the situation, surely you would know that God has helped you, and that might bring you closer to the God. Similarly, person who gets the economic support, or artharthi, what we call it, also understands that a right support was given at a very right time, and that they also have a chance to come closer to the Lord. Inquisitive or Jignasu only can come closer to the Lord by more of a knowledge. So he will have to undergo the situation in to get Gnan or knowledge. In any case, these three of them have lesser chance to understand the spiritual implications and come closer to God. The human nature is such that once the purpose is served, forget all about it and get along. This is what we do in this material world. That is why Srila Prabhupada always explains to introspect. And I think it is very important that on the spiritual path, we sit down and introspect. You must find some time and find out what you did in last 1 day, 1 month, 1 year, to recognize and understand from point A to point B you traveled during that period, and what did you change into. If we really look at it, it's always a transformation of the self, which is very important. Why are we going through all the scriptures appearing in examination and then understand what exactly Lord wants to transfer to us? Lord Krishna tells what he likes. He tells what opulences he has. And he tells us that we become more and more, get transformed into what he likes. And obviously, if we transform ourselves into what he likes, he is going to call you nearer to him and let you sit with him. So it's the purpose of gaining knowledge is to transform ourselves. And as I said earlier, Ramarishtadas Prabhuji very nicely saying that the first thing that starts coming in a devotee is always compassion. And I think we must have certain parameters parameters made for ourselves, and we must sit down at the end of prescribed period, whatever period you feel appropriate, to see how much change we are getting in ourselves. If there is no personal transformation into a mode of goodness, we will never be able to go further into mode of pure goodness. Our aim is to remove ourselves from mode of passion and ignorance by knowledge, passion again by knowledge and bhakti, and then from mode of goodness go into a mode of pure goodness. Until we do that, we will never be able to walk further into the spiritual path of what we call bhava and prema. So it is very important that whatever we learn, whatever we understand from scripture, we always try and see how much can we put this into practice, and how much transformations are possible with each of them. Unless this process is going on, the whole spiritual path walk can be a stationary path and you are going nowhere. And so, introspection is very important. And as Prema Mataji always says, that when you do an introspection, the best way to do introspection is journaling or writing about what you feel on a particular day of a month. Say if you are doing introspection on every Ekadasi, 15 days are good enough time, then you can sit down and write what you feel on that particular day. May not take more than half an hour or 15 minutes, but you will have an opportunity at the end of 6 months or a year down the line to understand whether you really are progressing yourself into the spiritual path. This is something where you got to be on your own and you are alone to watch and to recognize how much you are going through. Your spiritual master can always help you and direct you where to walk, what to do, and what are the changes needed. But unless you ask him, he would also not know what obstacles you are facing. Once you know that you are not progressing faster or not progressing at all, you will obviously think about the possible obstacles, and you would surprise the obstacles that people recognize. I was talking to one senior devotee, and he surprised me. He said that it was the taste and the tasty food that he was loving so much in the initial phases. And that actually became so much of obstacle that his most of the attention and consciousness was filled with the taste of the food or what he is going to eat the next. These actually prevented him into further devotional service. So this is individual journey, but a very important journey. And we all will have to do this journey one way or other in this life or next life or maybe 1,000 lives later. Until we go through this journey, we will not be able to go back to the spiritual world or go back to Lord Krishna, which is our aim. Subharao Prabhuji, your hand is raised. Please go ahead.
Nothing, Prabhuji. I raised earlier.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So this is what I feel, and that's why Pracheta's ultimate gaining or obtaining was inquired by Vidura to Maitreya, because they want to know what Prachetas got after their prayers and whether they really went into the spiritual sky, whether they got anything in the material world or not. Because ultimately everybody wants to know that after doing certain things in the spiritual world also, what will he or she get in return? Of course, then expectations are different. In the material world, we expect getting material things, whereas in spiritual world, we expect the spiritual gratifications. Any question, any revelations, any enlightenment, Any corrections? I am also one of you, Prabhujis and Matajis, and I stand all correction.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. No correction, Prabhuji. It was very wonderful. But only thing I would like to add is desire. Desire is something which without desires, there's no life. And we should not be thinking that we should not have any desires. But the desires have to be purified. It has to be sifted. So we need to get, I mean, that's what Dhruva Maharaj, he had the material desires, but when he got the blessings, I mean, benediction to see the Lord, darshan of the Lord, his desire got purified. So he no longer wanted the material world which he had come for, the kingdom, anything. And then, but the Lord gave him that. And he said, no, you have to be in this world and you have to purify and then come back to me. So finally, he just asked, please give me the benediction to be in the association of devotees. He wanted that. So that is what finally comes to. We need to have our desires purified. I mean, we have to think about it. But one thing is true. Here I saw that Prachetas met Lord Mahadeva by providential arrangement. So this is what the Lord does. When you have an intense desire to go back to him, he will help you by meeting a master outside, external to you, because who will help us. So we need to have the intense desire to go back. So that's all I can add on, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Mataji. I think she is absolutely on the target. Desires are something that are going to stay till we have a mind. And these desires need to be purified. Once they are purified, and the better way to purify, as Srila Prabhupada says, is to have a desire which is superior than what desire you have. So you have a better taste, better quality of the desires, and that's how you progress further. It's a very valid point, Mataji. Thank you very much. Thank you for your input. Any other question? Any
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
revelations?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Tell me.
So here in this sloka, param means it is coming as two meanings, Prabhuji.
Yes.
One is whatever the comforts and all what we have in this particular life is iha, and whatever the sukha dukkha will have in the next life is called paratra.
Yes.
So the next life can be either here only, or it can be in some like Janaloka, Mahaloka, Tapaloka, Siddhaloka, or
yes,
next life can be Vaikuntha Loka. That is also called Para. So Para means, Param means any other Loka or Vaikuntha Loka also, or is it specific for Vaikuntha Loka, Param?
I think the param, the meaning of the param is very simple. That is supreme. Param dharmo, that is a supreme religion. Similarly, param is the meaning of supreme. And
Param Dhama,
yes, param dhama, that's true. So it is the best of that particular word. When that word param is suffixed with any other word, it is the best of that word. So Param Parmeshwar, Param Ishwar, that is the Supreme Lord. So I would consider the Param is the word supreme, and Param, whenever it is suffixed with any word, that becomes the best of that particular word's meaning. Does that make any sense, Subbarao Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, but also here the meaning comes, whichever is the next life's Sukha Dukkha is also called as Paratra. That's it. So, sometimes the next life may not be Vaikuntha for all. The next life may be...
Yeah.
So, that meaning of... Two meanings
When
are
next
coming.
life, no, Prabhuji, when next life comes, it is Param, Prabhuji. No, when next life comes, it's Paratra, but when you reach Vaikuntha, that is ultimate, Param.
That's what,
So
the
Param
Paratra,
meaning
Param.
that it is the... Yeah. The Param means ultimately the goal of Vaikuntha. Paratra, yes, it is the distress and happiness. They are not just talking about one, they are talking about both. Distress and happiness in the next life is Paratra. And Iha is the distress and happiness that you get during your span of life. So that is what is Iha. So Param, that means they are talking about Golok Vrindavan. I mean, I'm sure none of us are going to be going to Goloka Vrindavan that quickly, because we need to really transform. At least I can say for myself, I need a lot of transformation. And as Prabhupada says, not in this life, at least next life or next 3 lives. So, but the meaning of Param here is ultimate, that is Golok Vrindavan. That makes any sense, Subbarao Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Only thing now, there is different words. One is Paratra, one is Param. They are not same. That's what I could understand.
No, they are not same. No, no, they are different. Both are.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no further questions and no other revelations or corrections, let us call it a day. Hare Krishna and Dandavat Pranam to everyone.
Hare Krishna
All of you
Prabhuji.
have a
Krishna
wonderful
Prabhuji,
Krishna
Dandavat
Prabhuji, Dandavat
Prabhuji.
Pranam.
Thank you for wonderful Srimad
Krishna
Bhagavatam,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam,
Thank you so much,
Saxena
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna
Hare
Pranam,
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
everybody.
Sujata Mataji.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji. Thank you so much.